Hello friends, welcome to Unacademy. This is me, Dr. Sidharth Arora. Friends, just recently we had done a video for you which was Do You Know Your Latin? And I'm very glad to see that it has got a considerable amount of good reviews and comments. So मुझे लगा कि you are taking some advantage of this Latin that we are teaching. Actually Latin use करके आप not only you'll be able to crack your exams, not only you'll be able to understand much of law and constitution, but actually it comes across as a very intelligent language also. Okay, so you want to impress somebody, आप Latin use करो, right? It really shakes the hell out of a person कि वाओ यार क्या Latin में बोल रहा है. और एक और बात ये होती है कि Latin में कुछ वर्ड्स में, जैसे couple of words में, दो वर्ड्स में एक बहुत लंबी बात को बताया जा सकता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल ऑडी ऑल्टराम पार्टम, द वंस विच वी डिस्कस लास्ट टाइम, बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग हो जाता है. यू जस्ट थ्री वर्ड्स, ऑडी ऑल्टराम पार्टम, एंड एक्चुअली यू कैन एक्सप्लेन द एंटायर प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ नेचुरल जस्टिस, दैट nobody should be punished until and unless he's been heard on that matter. तो ये इतनी लंबी बात बोलना, and then you just say ऑडी ऑल्टराम पार्टम और caveat emptor and so on and so forth. Latin does have the advantage of brevity, if so to say. So in the continuation of that, so last time we covered about 15 odd Latin phrases and so on and so forth. However, this time we will plan to finish out the rest of them. So I had a long list. Actually speaking, Latin maxims will run into thousands, but हमें उतने करने नहीं. So just ensure कि कुछ important ones कर लेते. That will be relevant for the exam. So let's pay attention to Do You Know Your Latin part 2. Okay, and this is the part 2 of the entire thing of the Latin phrases. Make sure those who have not started as yet, or those who haven't attended, please go back to the video and make a list of them. Start using them in your general language, in your general conversations. It will become second nature to you very soon. So before I start, a couple of announcements for all of you, and those announcements pertain to a very major announcement and very major discount which has been launched by Unacademy. So this is to beat the competition. We started a 15-month UPSC CSE subscription available to you at merely 29,999. Please remember, 29,999 is a steal. It is peanuts for what we are offering. Top educators for every subject, complete GS, CSAT, test series, unlimited access to all batches. You will do well if you remember this code SET Live, SIDLIVE, ये मेरा रेफरल कोड है. प्लीज यूटिलाइज दिस. आप एक कोड मैं आपको दिखा रहा हूं. इस कोड को अभी आप अपने मोबाइल फोन से स्कैन कर लीजिए, and you will be taken exactly to that web page of Unacademy, where you will only have to choose the duration and just use the code SIDLIVE, SIDLIVE, and you will be on your way to study and give yourself a realistic chance of cracking this exam. So make sure that you take advantage of this before it is too late. Or going on with part 2. So आज का हमारा जो पहला Latin maxim है, it is called as ad hominem. So the please इसको write करो. You have to write this, and if you don't write it, then you know it will never be becoming a part of your language. Ad hominem. AD hominem. Now what is ad hominem? Ad hominem का actually मतलब होता है, in other words, it says that you attack the entire human body, or rather attack the entire body. Please understand. You don't like somebody's argument. किसी ने बोला I don't like a particular government. No, ये आजकल बड़ा हो रहा था. If you pay close attention, you know, just recently we just been out of this election fervor. Everybody has some or the other political likings and similarly some dislikings also. So suppose X person says, I don't like XYZ political party. The other one says, I like the political party. Right. So you are now into a sense of argument. So पहले वाला बोलेगा, why don't you like? दूसरा बोलेगा, this is the reason. Now what do? What is an ad hominem attack? Ad hominem attack में you will not counter the argument. आप उस argument के खिलाफ नहीं बोलोगे, आप उस person के खिलाफ बोलने लग जाओगे. यार तू ही झूठा है, तू गलत है, and so on and so forth. You will start doing character assassination of that person. As very commonly done nowadays on the social media. Right. So in social media, next time तुम्हें किसी ने you're making an argument, and somebody is, instead of countering that argument on a basis of logic, तुम पर personal attack करने लग जाए, तुम पर character attack करने लग जाए, तो तुम क्या बोलना don't attempt an ad hominem attack on me. Make sure that you argue on facts and reason. Don't do an ad hominem attack. तो ये word आ जाएगा ad hominem. So attacking someone's character rather than answering his arguments. Very recently, very commonly ये समझ होता है law में, while we are as lawyers हम लोग कभी कभी argue कर रहे होते हैं, तो we always say let's argue on facts and reasons and law instead of ad hominem attack. So आज का पहला Latin maxim ad hominem. Let's understand the next one. So again, write this down. The next is de facto. De facto. The word is de facto. Some de facto. De facto. De facto means true in fact, or you can say by the fact. Actually, in fact. Alright. Not even by the fact. In fact. Alright. So हम लोग parliamentary form of government में रहते हैं. So parliamentary form of government is what? Parliamentary form of government is there is by law a head of the state. According to the constitution, the head of the state is the president of India. By the law. By the law. De jure. So now it will do us a good combination. It's a good compare and contrast exercise. If we do de jure together. So de jure says true in law or by law. So if you look at the constitution, right, the head of the state insofar as the union government is concerned, it is the president of India, and insofar as the state government is concerned, it is the governor. So now my language in terms of Latin maxim would go, let's say de jure head of the union is the president, the de jure head of the state or at the level of the state government is the governor. De jure, by law. However, if I compare it to this statement, I'll say, however, the prime minister is the real head executive. Is the real head executive. In fact, he is the de facto head of the government at the level of the union, and similarly at the level of the state, it will be the chief minister. So now, मेरे ख्याल से मैं समझा पाया. De jure, by law, de facto, in fact. So next time you are asked who is the formal head executive or who is the real head executive, you might as well do well to replace these words with the words de jure and de facto. Sounds good, sounds more effective, and actually it is more accurate also. So the word here is de jure and de facto. These are two words. Now make sure that you remember the words de facto, right? Because something very close to it, almost sounding similar to it, is going to come very soon. So pay close attention. So the word is de jure, de facto, and let's go to the next word now. So the next word, all right. So it will be better that we take this word right now. So we are taking up this word right now. Ipso facto. Now please distinguish this between de facto and ipso facto. Ipso facto says by the fact itself. Please remember this fact. Look at the difference here. De facto says in reality, in the fact. Ipso facto says by the fact itself. Let me use it in a sentence, you'll understand this. If somebody calls me, listen to me very carefully. If somebody calls me and says that I am spending my vacations in Vegas, then ipso facto, the man should be a rich man. By the fact itself, कोई वेगस में जाके, लास वेगास में जाकर, if he is spending his vacations, ipso facto, भाई वेगस में जा रहा है यार, ओहो पैसा ही पैसा लग रहा होगा, डॉलर्स बह रहे होंगे, right? So ipso facto, by the fact itself, it proves beyond an iota of doubt the man should be rich. So ये हो गया normal communication में. So similarly, you can utilize these things in legal actions also, all right? So for example, if there is somebody who makes a case against a law, so I'll say since he was never a citizen of India, ipso facto he cannot vote in India. So the story does not start. By the fact itself that he is not a citizen of India, he cannot vote. So the word is by the fact itself. So there are two words very similar sounding. One is de facto, the other one is ipso facto. So wrap your head around it. These are two words, ipso facto and de facto. Let's get to another one. The next one is called quid pro quo. Use the word quid pro quo. सो दिस इज अ वेरी सिंपल वर्ड. हिंदी में बड़ा सिंपल इसको बोलते हैं, एक हाथ लो एक हाथ दो. ओके, लेन देन इज कॉल्ड एज क्विड प्रो क्यो. सो if you pay close attention to this, right, it is the soul, it is the foundation of every contract. हर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट क्या होता है, या तुम मुझे कुछ दोगे, मैं उसके बदले में पैसे दूंगा, या फिर गुड्स होंगे या सर्विसेज होंगे या मनी होगा. ऑल्दो फॉर्चुनेटली अनफॉर्चुनेटली हम लोग क्विड प्रो क्यो को मेनी अ टाइम्स मीडिया में यूज करते हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ शेडी डीलिंग, राइट. ब्राइब वगैरह को क्विड प्रो क्यो बोला जाता है. सो यू नो मेनी अ टाइम्स यू विल सी दिस कि there was a quid pro quo arrangement between XYZ and XYZ, hence it is a case of corruption. तो quid pro quo तब भी यूज किया जा सकता है. लेकिन quid pro quo, like for example, if you remember historical underpinnings of polity and so on and so forth. So remember, it was 1773, Regulating Act of 1773. British government or British Parliament could pass legislative actions on India, or rather the controlling of East India Company, because East India Company ने British government से 1 million pounds मांगे थे. So what did the British government say? हम लोग we will write off your loan, लेकिन we will also start making laws to counter you or to regulate you. तो वो क्या हुआ, तुमने मुझसे 1 million pounds लिए, हमने लॉज बनाने का शुरुआत किया. इट इज कॉल्ड एज क्विड प्रो क्यो. सो द नेक्स्ट टाइम समबडी सेज नो कि यार तू मेरे को ना अपनी गाड़ी दे दे, नेक्स्ट टाइम ना मैं तेरे को हेल्प करूंगा, तो बोलना ओहो सो यू आर ट्राइंग टू हैव अ क्विड प्रो क्यो अरेंजमेंट विद मी. अगर वो समझदार होगा तो बहुत समझ खुश हो जाएगा, और अगर नहीं समझ में आएगा तो वैसे ही छोड़ के चले जाएगा, बोलेगा बाबा तुझसे क्या बात करने, पता नहीं क्या मांग रहा. सो यू कैन ऑलवेज let such a person go. Next word is ab initio. Ab initio का मतलब होता है initio. Initio word comes from the word initial. Ab initio, from the beginning itself. So ab initio. So I can say, for example, so there is a very famous story in the Mahabharata. It says कि Shakuni calls Yudhishthir to have a dash or to have a swing at this game. क्या बोलते थे इस गेम को? Chaucer, yes. So it was a game of gambling. But Shakuni was a very smart man. So Shakuni decided to make those dices, जो उसको बोलते थे, उसको उसने rig कर दिया था. So अब मैं इस लैंग्वेज को क्या बोलूंगा, तो ये guaranteed था कि 100% श्योर था that Shakuni is going to win this game. So how will I say this in Latin? I'll say, since the game was rigged by Shakuni, ab initio, it was 100% sure, it was a done deal that Yudhishthir would lose such a game, क्योंकि वो शुरू से ही rigged थी. So I'll say this game was rigged ab initio, right from the beginning. यहां पर गेम खत्म हो चुकी थी. तो युधिष्ठिर को मैंने बोला था, ओके, कि डियर युधिष्ठिर, दिस गेम इज rigged ab initio. So क्या उसका मतलब हुआ कि भाई ये पहले से चीटिंग हुई पड़ी है, प्लीज डोंट टच दिस गेम. लेकिन माना नहीं. लॉ की दुनिया में क्या बोलेंगे, लॉ की दुनिया में बोलेंगे कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल देयर इज अ बॉय एंड अ गर्ल हु आर बिलो द लीगली परमिसिबल एज ऑफ मैरिज. ओके, सो व्हाट विल आई से, सिंस दे मैरिड व्हेन दे वर माइनर्स और सिंस दे मैरिड व्हेन दे वर किड्स, तो आई से दिस मैरिज इज voidable. Actually void नहीं होते, voidable ab initio. Right from the beginning it is not correct. Word is ab initio, from the beginning. So I hope you are able to wrap your head around these words, and you know it will add quite a bit of color to your language also. Next word is res judicata. So the word is res judicata. Now what is res judicata? So to understand res judicata, you have to first appreciate certain thing. लीगल प्रोसेस कैसा होना चाहिए, लॉ कैसा होना चाहिए, केस कैसा होना चाहिए, कोई भी कोर्ट प्रोसीडिंग्स कैसे होनी चाहिए. तो लीगल प्रोसीडिंग्स कुछ ऐसे होने चाहिए कि पहले तो वो फेयर होने चाहिए, ओके, जल्दी होने चाहिए, स्पीडी होने चाहिए, और उसके बाद उनमें एक एलिमेंट ऑफ फाइनलिटी होना चाहिए. प्लीज पे अटेंशन टू द वर्ड फाइनलिटी. खत्म होने चाहिए. देयर हैज टू बी वन फुल स्टॉप टू दैट. नाउ अज्यूम फॉर अ मोमेंट दैट देयर इज अ केस between X and Y, and between the two of them the matter is decided. Let's say the matter has been decided that this property belongs to X on the basis of XYZ facts and XYZ laws. Let's assume. So ये case decide हो गया in the favor of X on the basis of फला फला X and फला फला actions and फला फला law. अब थोड़ी देर के बाद now the matter is decided, X wins, Y loses. एक साल के बाद Y फिर से केस कर दे, my lord, let's fight this case again. So what will the court say? The court will say no. The court will say no. This is hit by res judicata. Since those grounds have already been decided on the basis of law and fact, this matter is decided and therefore it is final. And once it is final, it cannot be opened again. हम बोलेंगे it has been decided. Res judicata. So res judicata says, since it has been decided, the same grounds पे you cannot assail the judgment again. Right? This is done with. Since it's all over, it's decided. In the interest of finality of justice, we will not reopen the case until unless, of course, new facts come to the light of the court. The word would be res judicata. So many a times you will see this. This is a doctrine. So doctrine of res judicata will be utilized many a times, and you will see this in multiple news items. कि यार ये decide हो चुका res judicata. So I hope you have understood this one also. Very interesting, and let's understand. So matter is res judicata. So what is res judicata actually based on? So once which I was explaining it to you. So now please don't even attempt pronouncing this, because even I am not trying to pronounce this, right? It becomes kind of difficult tongue twister. It says nemo debet bis vixari pro una et edem causa. Apparently, what does this mean? And I'm not even claiming that my pronunciation is absolutely to the hilt, but this is how most of the Indian lawyers, right, prefer saying this. Until unless you've really known Latin in and out, you usually say this. The simple interpretation of this is no one ought to be vexed twice for the same cause. In other words, कि मैंने तुम्हारा मामला एक बार फंसा, एक बार जो भी फैसला था करना था कर लिया, अब मैं दोबारा तुमको उसी तकलीफ से दोबारा नहीं गुजारने दूंगा. This is a judicial interpretation on the basis of which res judicata or doctrine of res judicata holds itself. So this is the word which is res judicata. So I hope you have realized this and you have had fun of this part. And then comes the most important ones. Yes. Habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, and quo warranto. Okay. So these are the different types of writs, and I am not going to teach you any of them. Alright. So this is for those, अगर तुम्हें ये नहीं पता है, you are in one mighty trouble, because all polity students worth their salt must be knowing habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, and quo warranto. In fact, मैं तुम्हें ये homework देना चाहता हूँ. In the comment section, पांचों words लिखो और पांचों के आगे write down what do these words imply. What is the meaning of each of these words? What does habeas corpus mean? What is mandamus? What is prohibition? What is certiorari and quo warranto? At least write the meanings of them. And if you are generous enough, might as well write a one-line explanation of each of these types of writs also. I'll be very, very happy to see those. And I hope you have enjoyed this. So this is Latin part 2, right? So part 1 and part 2, we have covered quite a few of them. And I hope, and you can, this is just a teaser. This is just an appetizer. Go for it. Read as many as you find. Go to Google. You're really going to have fun. And if you're a law student, it will really be good to understand the several aspects of law. I hope you have enjoyed this. Make sure that you are a part of our Unacademy programs. Use the code SEDLIVE. I'll be happy to teach you. In the words of Unacademy, let's crack it until next time. God bless. Thank you and Jai Hind.